Can't we just have it? Boom! Welcome to episode 59 in Milford. What?
Hey.
Whoa.
Do you know the guy who's starting for the Colts this week?
No.
Ellinger?
He's the
Sam?
old, isn't he the old guy from the Texas Longhorns? Right? He's that guy. Steve, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Longhorn country. We're back, right? One of those. That's me. I'm back, baby. Hey guys, thanks for holding down the fort. I'm back, everyone.
Welcome back.
So if you want to follow Entering Milford on Twitter, follow our handle. We had a lot of feedback that there was a good entry. People knew how to email us. They knew how to follow us. They knew how to find our polls. They knew how to listen to us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. We're the
every podcast.
Milford podcast about fantasy football. This is Mike, my numero uno. I miss him so greatly. He's got bedhead at 10 o'clock at night. Pete, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, cold, man. Oh, cold, 9 o'clock. I set my alarm, but 45 minutes later, it woke me up.
All right. Well, we got 45 minutes coming right now. Number 2 tonight, your number 1, my 1.5, Divitto.
They were both my number ones.
Anybody want to guess who the most overrated number 59 was in NFL history?
No, you can make him the star of the episode, though.
Think of the Patriots.
Larry Izzo.
Andy Katzenmoyer.
Oh, yeah. Katzen. Didn't he break his neck and quit?
Hey, Steve, you want to see a good segue? Steve, you want to see a good segue?
Let's see it.
Ready? Speaking of overrated, Case, good to see you again.
Oh, Katzenmoyer.
Shrapnel.
Gus Bus, big run.
Shrapnel, how's your week been, Shrapnel?
It's good. Good.
So we're live in the second half of our Thursday night game. We'll talk about what's going on in our first game this week, DeLuca versus Divitto, cousin battle. Not great for Pete, but we're always on the up and up in this podcast. Like to see it live. Pete's got his Ravens shirt on. So guys, in hindsight, Pete, I want to start with you. Here was my major takeaway for me not being on the pod on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Way more DeLuca, and I loved it.
Yeah, a lot of positive.
He's the host. Of course he is.
I heard a lot of positive feedback that I was nicer to Brian and Steve than normal. That they seemed more welcome with under my reign, and when I like it.
I think you were so occupied.
But your wife said that. What did everybody else say?
Well, no, Pete was so occupied with running the ship, he didn't have time for his digs. Yeah, that's all. He was occupied.
Well, between planning the show, writing all the notes, running the Zoom room, posting it, writing all the recaps. I guess, Mike, you can't just show up for a half an hour a week.
Well, okay. Here we go. I'm doing it tonight, Pete. We'll see about that. Case, how did you feel? You shined a bit as not an afterthought. It was a 3-man crew. How'd you feel?
So I'm an afterthought normally.
I
don't know. Pete tried to downplay me. My mic was turned down significantly. I'm wearing headphones tonight to see if I can beef up my my vocals. So hopefully that comes through a little better this time.
Yeah, it sounded bad.
I heard you fine as a listener of the pod, as a receiver.
I didn't get great reception on mine. Pete said it too. So
I thought it sounded.
Pete was very loud in my ears, though.
Yes, Pete was
like very loud.
I'll take a step back.
No, Pete, hang in there. And Steve, how'd you feel? Did you feel good? You were like, I felt like, as the person who was, again, not involved, I felt like there was more Steve than usual.
So, Mike, normally what happens is when you go from 4 to 3, there's definitely going to be more of those other guys.
But no, I feel like Case spoke the same amount that Case spoke. Case delivered what Case usually delivered. I felt like there was more Pete. I thought that was great. I thought there was more Steve.
So what is your take on that then?
No, very opportunistic.
No take. It's just a guy who's stepping up, man. Jeff Innes is out on Milford Police when you're 12 and he's 11, even though he's like 16. You step up, you hit in the 3-hole. I thought you did a great job, Steve.
August birthdays, man. Did the trick.
Hi, Pete. You ready to roll, baby? Week 8.
Yeah, I mean, I had a rough day. I haven't looked at anything, but
you know what this means, by the way. You know what week 8 is.
This is the top of the mountain. We are halfway.
This is a tipping point, baby. I call this.
Do we have to do superlatives next week?
This teacup week. I think next Tuesday night we'll see if I can show up. I think we got to do our. I think we got to do our mid-season picks. And let's not forget, folks. There's a lot of recorded history about this. Last year, 5 people picked Innes to win at the halfway mark.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody but Case. So
Did I?
no, I don't know. It was shrapnel.
You are all over Case so far.
It was. I did it on purpose. It was a shrapnel night. All right, Pete, you ready to do this or what?
Yeah,
Divitto was right about his second half surgery, though. It did go from 2-1. His second half surgery.
You're saying.
Wait, Case, you're right. Remember how much of a hard time DeLuca gave him because he said he's a second half surgery, and how's he going to go?
What's he going to do? Surge from 2-1?
He did.
He actually fell first, then he surged.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought that was Gus.
If you want to find out what everyone picked last year, check us out on Apple, Spotify, wherever your podcast
Anchor.
platforms are. We're there.
There is some.
Entering Milford.
I feel like if you just named a bunch of stupid terms, you could very easily convince people that you supported podcasts. Like Stitcher, I've never even heard of Stitcher before, but the fact that
what is Stitcher?
Yeah, they're like you're available on Stitcher. I go, who is on Stitcher? No offense to the Stitcher fans, but I was like,
we should do it. The only one I know about is Patreon. People have to pay for that. We should do Patreon, make Innes pay for it. How much do you think people in this league would pay if we said our podcast was behind a paywall?
Nothing. If it's anything like I don't know.
I would just record on my phone right now what we're doing live.
I think the only listeners would be Lloyd, Sheila.
No, Sheila hasn't listened in weeks.
But if you're paying to be on this, she'll listen.
No, you don't know my wife that well. No chance.
She's listening.
No chance.
You're downplaying it.
No chance. She's still upset with me. I didn't clean the basement this week. I'm like, sorry, I had to go to the office every day. My bad.
Ravens look terrible.
All right. You ready to clean the basement?
Did you see the injury update here?
Yeah, he's out for the game.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
All right. Week 8. Pete, you ready to get into this? Pete, you're the game of the week.
Yeah.
Not at the moment the game of the week, but you and your cousin, game numero uno, give us the preview and your pick as we go through it.
Yeah, it's off to a bad start. Andy's
you good? Hey Pete, you good? Your energy seems lower than Tuesday night. You want to take over?
I legitimately just woke up 10 minutes ago.
All right.
So Andy is 5-4 against me since 2017, but I have won 3 straight. It's going to be interesting to see how Lamar's does tonight. He is so far not doing very well. So I don't really feel confident. I didn't really like having to rely on Mark Andrews on a short week with a hurt foot. It's not really great. I think it's going to come down to Sunday and Monday Night Football for Divitto. That means he's going to have Aaron Jones, Stephon Diggs, Kareem Hunt, and Hurst going after my whole team is done. So I think I'm going to get toasted. So I'm going to go with Andy to improve to 8-0.
What are your hands are in the air? What happened, Steve?
Yeah, what happened?
Just watch.
I got nothing.
I don't like how they changed the numbers. I see him score the touchdown, but he should be a receiver. That's not the right number.
I have a real problem.
Or chosen one.
I have a real problem with the small numbers. I know that I sound like a grumpy old man, but I can't. I don't like it.
Steve just segued nicely to us. How many guys do you have in your starting lineup this week that have been on the chosen ones in the last 2 seasons? Don't look. So 8. We start 8 guys. How many guys in your starting lineup this week were on the chosen ones roster the last 2 years?
I know Rodgers. I mean, I know Lamar, Andrews, Lockett. I think that's it, right?
I never had Lamar. 4 guys. You and I have to stop trading it. So you're starting this week. Tyler Lockett, former chosen one, traded for him last year. Brandon Cooks, former chosen one, you traded for him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Robert Woods, former chosen one 3 times. I've actually traded, I think, 7 draft picks for Robert Woods. You traded for him 2 weeks ago. And the last one, Darnell Mooney, traded through the Jumbos to the Orange Crush. So if you got some Clelly juice on you, this is the week you really want the juice coming.
That's a little awkward.
Yeah, well, as disgusting,
Clelly juice on you.
Disgusting as that sounds. Yeah, no.
Nobody loves that.
Steve,
I traded myself into a worse position. So unfortunately, I think I stood a fighting chance against Andy, but I don't know. I sabotaged myself through all these trades.
Hey, Pete, Jeff sent me a text. I won't talk about the contents of the text, but he claimed that he sent multiple texts to multiple guys in the league, and he was told his offers were strong. Did he send one of those to you?
No, Jeff and I haven't been. Other than the trade that we pulled off, no, we weren't really talking to a he did. No, there wasn't any. We could kind of straighten to the point with the deal that we did.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. He did text me. We'll see if he texted the other guys in the pod. So, Steve, I'm going to go to you first because there's a couple of important cues on the board. This, in theory, would be a week. All right, Steve, I can see you click the Blues. I'm segueing in.
No,
Good.
I'm sitting right here.
In theory, I can see it in your glasses, Steve. In
I'm
theory,
not on the blue.
Blues. Mike
There's
already
no
read them
blue.
all.
He's
in
on
theory,
RotoWire. He's on RotoWire now.
He's following Stefania Bell on Twitter. In theory,
No, that's Stefania.
in theory, the week you play Divitto when the Chiefs are on a bye is a week you should feel good about facing Divitto. Pete doesn't feel good. He's not had a good start with Mark Andrews. Lamar scored a touchdown. That should help him. And there's a couple cues on Divita's board that will play important factors in this game. It seems like Russell Wilson was doing high knees on the plane. He seems good. But give me the update on the injuries here. We got a Monday night injury, and what's your take on the game?
Jacobs is fine. He'll play. They said that this is probably just a rest thing for him. Even if Wilson plays, I'm not exactly through the roof about Wilson. I don't know about you guys. He's obviously hasn't done a lot this year. Jacksonville isn't that bad defensively, even though they gave up a lot of yards on the ground last week to the Giants. I don't love a lot of the guys in his lineup this week, even though Hayden Hurst gets a boost with Chase now being out with a hip injury for Cincinnati.
Steve, is Hurst playing? Is that Q a preemptive Q?
Yeah, no, he'll play. He played last week. I don't think he's out.
And he was Q last week?
Yeah. I don't know. There's some volatility in his lineup right now. Aaron Jones hasn't been that great. Buffalo's defense on a bye, coming back out at home for Buffalo. Aaron Jones on the road. That's could go either way with that. Pete has a lot of long shots in his lineup. He's going to have a lot of guys that are going to be playing from behind in his lineup, and he's got some all wide receivers, which could bode pretty well. But I'm going to take Andy to go to 8-0 here as well.
It hurts my heart, Steve. It hurts.
Sorry, man.
So the one thing
Andrews doesn't get hurt in this game.
The one thing I didn't like about the pod on Tuesday was Divitto also said coming from behind, and no one segued it. So
that's what she said.
That's all I'm going to say. No, I would have said something like, speaking of a guy who likes coming from behind, and then I would have segued to Case, but I'm not going to do that now. So Case,
but that's your role. We're not going to take your role.
Yeah, we didn't need to be a new bad host. We already lost one.
Speaking of new bad host, Case. Trouble. So Case,
two guys.
Case, I listened Tuesday night, and you said on Tuesday night, hey, listen, I know Divita's this. Darren said he's fifth best, blah, 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 blah. And you said, well, guys, he hasn't had to start J.D. McKissick or Nyheim Hines yet. And there he is, Nyheim Hines in the lineup.
There he is.
So do you think Divita is making the right call throwing Hines in? Do you think he should go to the waiver wire? As a big matchup guy, do you think he's got the right lineup in? And who do you think on DeLuca's lineup is the one who can tip him over on our teacup bowl of the week?
No chance.
I actually going to use this to further try to get a trade done with Andy. I have a proposal out to him right now, so he doesn't have to play Hines if he wants to go for it. He responded saying,
I bet you like the movie The Proposal, starring Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock.
Rom-com, decent rom-com.
Yeah, not as much. What's the one we used to watch with Matthew McConaughey?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Good.
So hopefully that will go through.
What's the trade? What's the trade?
It's not done yet.
Steve, let's guess the trade. Steve, let's
guess real life how to fall into last place in 10 days.
He responded, tough. It's tough for me to take advice from a team behind Ross's scrubs.
Oh,
I mean, what are you?
I laughed at it. I said, yeah, touche. No, he's got to get Nyheim out of there. Losing Breece Hall obviously hurts, but he needs to get somebody else in there, so he needs to make a move. I do think this is a separation, though, between, Pete's attempt to try to find, a deep ball here, a deep ball there, and Andy's got the higher ceiling players, even if there's fewer of them in this lineup. So I like Divitto this week. I'm not going to put any superlative on it because I do think it's going to be close. I think Pete needed a Herculean effort out of Lamar this week to make it a win for him. And he's losing some of his bench depth. Lazard says he's not going to play. Renfro's got a hip issue. Thomas still can't fix his feet. So Pete's team is pretty thinned out right now. So I'm going to go Divitto.
Pete, is there a guy on your roster that you think could tip the scales and have a big game that we don't expect?
No.
Good question.
think,
Good host
I
question right
think,
there.
I think there's always big play potential with like Lockett, Cooks, and maybe Mooney, but I don't foresee anything like really blowing up to the point where it's going to be competitive. Divita's been beating everybody with essentially 8 people on his team. That's all of us. Like not even, we all have 15, 16 people on our roster. He could legitimately have 7 guys and he would still be in the same exact position he's in. He doesn't even need to start a whole lineup.
The first time he's used his bench, right, Pete? This week.
No, I mean, he used it. I mean, he's been using it since week 6. It's week 8.
Well, the Hurst pickup.
Yeah. So, I mean, he doesn't even need to these. It doesn't even affect him. This is crazy. Like it is actually physically crazy.
Steve,
2 guys here, Pete. If they go off, you win this week. Lockett and Cooks. And I could see Cooks having a big game at home. I absolutely could see having Lockett having a big week with Metcalf out too. So those 2 guys go off, you've got a shot here.
Yeah, Steve, you make a good point. I actually think I'm a big key game guy when I look at these. To me, the key game in this one is Tennessee-Houston. Bunch of guys on this game. You still have Robert Woods as the primary target, though they don't throw it a lot. I think the only way I can see you, Pete, making a run is that Cooks has a big early game. Yeah. Houston goes up and game script favors the Texans. I'm with you on this one. I think if we had a Mark Andrews sideways stack touchdown and he didn't get hurt, I actually would feel pretty good about picking you. I don't love Russell Wilson in London. His team doesn't seem to like him.
That's in London.
It's weird that he's doing high knees on the plane. Bro, and yeah, like I'm with Case, dude. Like Nyheim Hines isn't very good. And I don't like, but at the same time, like he still has, I would say, the 2 best players in this matchup. I'll take Andy. No lock, no boom, but I'll pick him because I don't love the Mark Andrews.
I think the crazy part about this matchup is that there's a ton of volatility on both teams. Like it's pretty wild if you look at the matchups and the what could happen here.
Steve, speaking of what could happen, you also talked about this on Tuesday night. I listened, guys, that the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, a lot of important games taking place at the top of the standings. Game number 2, so we have game number 1 is the 1 versus the 2 seed. Game number 2 is the 3 versus 4 seed. And then the next 3 games all equal 15. Look at that, guys. So game number 2, Divitto, the 3 seed who went off on his bye week, 160 last week with his 2 best players on a bye, gets Breen with the return of Josh Allen. Pete, give us the preview. Breen and Divitto.
Get it. Divitto 3, Breen 4. Divitto, Breen is 4-2 against Steve since 2017. Kevin swept Divitto last year. Breen, he started the season hot, but he has lost 3 of his last 4 games. Divitto won the last 3 of his games, but he ended up dropping 164 against Mike right in his face last week. I don't know. I wrote these things real quick. I think that Kamara is going to help Steve. He's going to get off to a fast start. I think the bottom of Breen.
Hey, don't talk about Steve.
I think the bottom of Steve's Breen's lineup with Pierce, Peoples-Jones. I think you're just going to need more firepower. So I'm going to take Divitto.
Steve, 2 big Qs on the board here. It seems like Waddle is legitimately questionable, and Debo came out last week. Give us the answer on what those Qs will look like, and then Case, I'm going to go to you because I don't think either of these guys have their roster set this week. We'll see what Steve says first.
I think Waddle plays. That shoulder issue, he's been kind of nursing that. Debo is starting to make me a little nervous. He has not participated at all this week, but I'm interested to see what comes out tomorrow. If he gets a limited session in tomorrow, I think he'll end up playing. The interesting thing is when he did get hurt, when they claim he got hurt, was in the 3rd quarter. He came back and played in the 4th. So it must not have been that bad of a hamstring issue. But considering their bye week is coming up soon, on the road against the Rams, a big division game, I think he plays.
What do you think you're going to do if Debo is out? Kirk?
Yeah, probably Kirk.
Who's your pick? You want to come?
I've been going back and forth.
Do you want me to come back to you?
No, I've been going back and forth. I actually changed. I was going to go Breen, and then when Chase got hurt, I thought that was going to open up some more targets for Higgins and getting Kupp back and Brown back. I like it. I'll pick myself this week.
Get it.
Separate from Breen.
So, Case, I think Debo's out. And I don't think Breen has his starting roster. And so who do you think these two guys end up playing? What's your analysis on who they have on the field? And Mac, what's going on, buddy? Who's your pick?
I do think that Divitto has the better option on his bench if he has to go with Kirk. I think if Breen had to make a move for one of the guys on the bottom, I think he'd go with Brian Robinson.
I disagree.
But that's a crazy backfield right now to deal with. Who? Wendell Robinson?
I think he goes Wendell. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is out and Wendell Robinson's in.
It's not a bad play. I mean, he's getting some more looks in Seattle. Secondary is not very good.
What do you think about Alec Pierce, though? With a new
I don't mind Alec Pierce.
He's got.
I don't think any of those players are very good. Anyways, I guess all those options I don't think are very good. I think DeVito's got his guys back in his lineup. So I'm taking Steve this week. I'm actually taking Steve to Boom this week. So I'm taking DeVito Boom this week. I'll say with or without Debo, I think still he's going to do it. So,
okay. Speaking of with or without, favorite U2 song?
Still haven't found what I'm looking for.
You mean a fantasy football title? Oh, I meant the U2 song.
Oh.
Yeah, both.
Oh, so sorry. Steve,
I found what I'm looking for. I got JJ back. I found what I'm looking for.
Sorry, dude, come on, that was a good comeback. That was fast. Quick on my feet. Steve, what's your favorite U2 song? Steve, you're my beautiful day. Steve's my lock this week. I love DeVito's team this week. I think the Burrow to Higgins stack is something else. I think having that on Monday night, Cup back, Brown back. I think DeVito's team's really locked in.
Wasn't that beautiful day, by the way?
That's what I just said. Today's a beautiful day for Steve's song.
I know, but the song that you were pretending to play, was that actually it? Like, I don't know if that was it.
You're a little too low.
On a road.
Reminds me of the
I'll
Patriots.
pick Steve to be my lock for the week.
Whoa.
It's a beautiful day. Justice Hill's the best running back in Baltimore, by the way. All right, so we got.
I'm actually genuinely nervous now that we're 4 for me. I'm not really feeling that.
we got 2 sweeps out of the gates, guys. The same thing happened last week, and none of us performed all that well because I heard Brian do the recap. So the next 3 games, we've got the 10 versus the 5, we've got the 7 versus the 8, we've got the 9 versus the 6. So I'm actually going to go. Last year I used to say the best seed. I'm going to go the closest seed. So Pete, game number 3 is going to be the 7 and the 8 seed. I again think this is a loser leaves town game, but I can't quite say it. So we've got the 10 bowl. Fates versus Innis.
Like Sesame Street.
The 10 bowl, 7 versus 8. Innis against Spates. Spates is 8-1 against Jeffrey since 2017. A full-out ownership by Spates, a daddy level ownership. So Spates 8-1. This is the opponent that he has had the most success against in his 25 years in the league. So
wow,
good for you, CJ. Jeff was starting Marquise Goodwin until I did a trade for him, saved from that embarrassment. So it's been a rough week for him. I'm going to say CJ outscores Jeff by about 15 points per game. So I kind of like the way that the 2 teams are shaking out. I think CJ is going to have a pretty good one. I think both teams are pretty similar, but with a history of 8-1, I'm going to pick Spates. I'm going to make him my lock of the week.
Whoa. I don't think Duracell would agree with that.
It's
Steve.
not a battery.
Mike.
Guys, it's a running joke. Come on.
Master lock.
The copper top. Tops them all.
The master
lock. Steve, I'm going to go to Case first in this one because there's no real cues on here. Brian, we've talked about this a couple of times. I still don't get why Spates stubbornly goes to Rodgers. He has let him down 4 straight weeks. He's still in his lineup. Innis made a couple moves and it still feels active in his game. Who's your pick in this game? And who do you think the key matchup is on each of these rosters?
I think the more puzzling thing for CJ is that he hasn't even made a move to acquire another quarterback just as
not
like
even
an insurance
tried.
policy.
Not even tried.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of good ones that have been floating around the waiver wire the last couple of weeks with all the buys too. So I would have, if I was him, I would at least got some insurance at the quarterback position and maybe threw away, one of those running backs that aren't really in the rotation for him. I think that's a trade-off that he should have made. But as long as he doesn't listen to DeVito this week on the weather in Denver and the Judy play, I actually like the way that Spates' lineup is shaping out, even with Rodgers in there. He does get a prime time game, and he's an egomaniac, so he'll probably show up for this one. I am also going with Spates. I'm going with Spates as my upset again, and I hope that he'll actually come through this time because every time I've picked him this year, he's lost.
Steve.
Fun fact, Mike.
Yeah.
Do you know that Clifford Spates has been the Yahoo favorite in every single matchup this year, and he is 2-5.
Never trust Yahoo. Never trust.
That
Yahoo.
is insane.
Don't trust the manager.
Steve, I'd love to hear because there's not any cues. Rodgers is going to play. He's a baby. Blah, 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 blah. I'd love to hear your take on the acquisition of McCaffrey last week. What you think happened? You're really locked into the Niners because you have Kittle and you have Debo. And then where we are with the Dak Prescott injury, as that really is the cookie that greases the wheel of the big rides. So give me your take on those two players.
Is that how they say it in the biz?
The cookie that greases the wheel.
Oh, there's Bailey McCorkle.
Yeah. I got the smelly end.
What Chicago team is going to show up in Dallas? The team that played on Thursday Night Football?
Oh, sorry.
Or the team that played the Patriots? Touche, Michael.
All right, I didn't. My bad. I didn't know the question.
I think
Prescott
Prescott
has line written out like hours ago. Too.
I think Prescott has a much better week.
Blow up his spot.
I think Prescott has a much better week this week than he did last week. This week. Way too much volatility, though, that he's got in his lineup with his Pittsburgh players against Philadelphia coming off a bye. I don't like those two guys in his lineup. He does get Gabe Davis back, which is a big thing for Ennis. I'm going to take Spates as well. Spates is my upset as well.
Man, I'm going to pick across the board again.
On a space here, huh, guys?
We get a lot of
superlative, Steve.
So Pete, apparently Jeff didn't text you. If Jeff was going to text you, who on his team do you think is the type of guy who he would be selling to get off different assets today?
I mean, when he came,
I don't think Ennis is selling.
Yeah, I don't think he's selling. When he came to me, he was very much doing a trade to stay in it. I don't think that he's selling either. So I don't know. He came to me with a couple different things. I was fresh off looking for a running back, so we kind of started talking about CEH and put together a garbage trade. So
you already Mostert?
No, I already have enough trash. I don't know what to do with.
Hey.
He's a chosen one.
I don't want to be a follower. I'll take Jeff. I think CJ is going to win. I pick CJ every single week. I've lost every single game I've ever picked of CJ. So just for that,
CJ is thrilled. He's 2-5. You've picked him every week.
Oh, geez, guys, he's picking me again.
Guys, I got to tell you, I think I picked Spates to boom 4 times, and he's lost every one of those games.
You want to pick him again?
Nope. I'm taking Jeff. I have a lock, right? I have nothing but a lock case. I'll take Jeff. Correct. I kind of like. So
4 times. You picked him to boom 4 times.
Pete, I know I picked him. Pete, you brought this up on Tuesday night. You guys see what I'm doing, by the way? See all the callbacks to Tuesday night. I keep saying you brought up Tuesday night how porous Jeff's season has been because he somehow has the second easiest schedule behind Divitto, and his team is the second worst scoring. It does feel a little unlucky so far for him. So I kind of am on Divitto's wagon with the Bears-Cowboys game. I hope Dak can get a return. I think we'll get a nice stack game. And I don't know. Let's take Jeff. I want to be a lone guy. I don't want to go chalk the whole way. I'll take Jeff on this one.
You're a lone wolf. You're gonna do the howl too.
Howl.
I don't need a howl. Sam Howell.
Fair enough.
Longhorns country. We're back.
Which one of you losers is up next? 4th
game of the week. This one is awful. Darian somehow is the 6th seed against Casey's daddy and his future sugar mama. Let's hear Lloyd versus Darian, 6 versus 9.
Darian goes all the way up to 6. I was kind of shocked to see that in the standings. So good for you, Christian. They are 5-5 in the last 5 years. However, Lloyd swept Christian last year. It was 2 of his 3 wins that he had. Yeah, Lloyd had 3 wins last year. 2 of them came against the Darian. I think this will combine for one of the lowest scores of the week. They are both 7th and 8th in scoring. Closer look, they've both put up similar points when they played each other. So I think it's going to be a lot closer than you think it's going to be. I'm going to be back on the Lloyd bus. I shouldn't have got it off. I shouldn't have got off it last week when I said he was going to win 3 in a row. I think Lloyd is going to complete that 3-game winning streak I gave up on, even though I had no faith in it last week. I'm going to pick Lloyd. I'm picking him to upset.
Steve, we've got Bateman appears to be out for the game. Hawkinson is a Q. Talk to me about the weather this week in this game. A couple big storms coming through the middle of the country.
Forget about the weather. The injury bug has officially hit the Orchids. Bateman,
hey, Steve.
Chase. Yeah.
Steve, if you were going to be an insect, what insect would you be?
What insect would I be?
What?
Didn't answer that one for you.
Would I be?
Grasshopper. Sorry, go ahead.
Has he answered any of the questions yet?
He said
No, I don't
a hard
answer.
no to a groin injury. A hard no to groin injury.
No.
That was the one he really had a
Quad.
Not answering. Dotson's hurt. Akers apparently has just quit on the Rams.
Yeah, I think he's done, right?
Yeah, they're trying to trade him, but no one's taking him.
That's a terrible.
That Chase injury is huge.
Big.
I'm gonna take D'Adarian. I just think he's got better players in his lineup. I think this is like a 91-85 game. Jalen Hurts coming back will put him over the top.
Divitto, A+ analysis. Shrapnel.
It's really not much. I couldn't think of anything else to say.
Sometimes that's all you gotta say.
He's better. He'll win.
No analysis needed.
Shrapnel, what do you got?
Such a hard thing here. There's
Hard
a guy
act to
that I
follow.
need. There's a guy that I need to lose for a side bet
Yep.
versus a guy that I never want to pick.
Yeah.
So
Christian's my lock.
Cotton-
Sorry. Christian's my lock.
Jeez, Steve. I mean, hog the limelight.
seriously.
Well, according to Mike,
2 nights in a row you're hogging.
you want a more cowbell.
2 nights in a row you're hogging the limelight, according to Mike. Come on, Shrapnel, bring it up, buddy.
Yeah. I'll take Christian.
I wanted more than anything to pick Lloyd in this game.
Yeah, you
Me
do.
too.
Get the
I think
whole-
Kenneth Walker is a separator in this league. He was a great pick. I like the pick. Let's do it. Upset. I'm with DeLuca. I'm
I'm
taking
upset.
Lloyd. I'm taking
Even
Lloyd.
without Chase, I'm going with it. Beat him twice last year.
So there's a couple of guys on D'Adarian's roster I do think could swing this game, but my only issue is I feel like the London game is always low scoring.
Kidding me.
Steve, don't make us have to mute you.
I just picked Lloyd, dude. Chill out, man. Oh, touchdown.
All right, fourth quarter. Let's go. Finish this game up.
All right, last game of the week.
Yeah.
Scarlet Hawks backcourt bowl. Wait, Divitto, how far ahead of you are we?
You're always so far ahead.
Basic cable, baby. He didn't cut the cord.
All right, let's do it. Casey, Kaleli, 5 versus 10. Give us the preview.
You got any idea, Kaleli, how you fare against Brian in the last 5 years or no?
Probably pretty close. How many
He
games we played?
spanks me.
How many games we played?
He spanks me.
How many
6.
games we played?
6.
6?
I'm like
5
one
and 1.
TG beats.
4 and 2.
Mike is 5-1 against Casey since 2017. That includes winning 5 in a row. This is the best roster that Casey has put on the field this season. I won't insult you and say I'm not intimidated by you, but I think this is the best. This is the best thing that Casey's put on the field so far. And it's kind of the game plan. It might be a little late at 1-6, but it's interesting to see. Like, this is really the first post-trade active roster week for the Jumbo. So we'll see how it goes. But the Chargers are on a bye. It's hard to see how Casey could pull this one out. So I don't think he's going to. I am going to pick Mike to go to 6-1 against Casey. And I'm going to pick Mike to boom.
Steve, bunch of Qs on the board here. And I think Devonta Adams has the flu because I clicked the blue and you're going to tell me the other. It seems like he's going to play. I'm a little questionable whether or not I'm going to play him. I think most of the chance. I think I have a good handle on my roster. I don't have a good handle for Kate. St. Brown has been a mess. I don't think he got concussed. Maybe he got concussed. And Connors apparently is being trusted. So give us the injury update for both of these squads and tell us who you want to pick in this game.
St. Brown's going to play.
Get it.
I think they're all going to come back and play. I think every Q on the board is going to play.
Woo.
So I don't think it really matters.
Let's all go home.
Part about going behind Pete here is now, ooh, here come the comments. I have Mike as my pick.
You like to be behind Pete. You like to be behind Pete.
Good one, Shrapnel.
I've always been behind Pete.
Shrapnel. Good one, Shrapnel. Hey, Steve, who should I play? Steve, who should I play in this game?
You can give him options?
Who are you changing?
Yeah, what are the options?
I got Tyler Boyd now, who I need to play, apparently.
That's easy. No. He had a good matchup last week. He's not that great. He just had a really easy matchup.
Chase is out, dude. There's now 2 guys. That's it.
Who would you take out?
Who would you take out?
Oh, I know you are, but what am I?
I honestly might take out Adams. He has the flu.
Are you ridiculous? Are you crazy?
Are you all right?
Why don't you play your boyfriend Michael Gallup?
Let him take out Adams.
Case wants you to take out Adams.
You don't want to play your boyfriend Gallup?
He's currently short $100.
So, Case, Divitto's saying everybody on our rosters are in. Are you set here? Is Connor in your starting lineup? And how are you feeling about the newly minted Jumbos roster going into a crucial Week 8 battle?
Yeah, I think St. Brown's going to play. He didn't get a concussion. He's just out because of the symptom with the new protocol stuff going on.
He's in concussion protocol this week. Weird. I don't get it.
I think he blinked 3 times in the new NFL policy with
Do you guys know what the concussion? You know what the concussion protocol is? I actually looked it up.
No.
Really, it's really easy. It's really bizarre. So the way that they determine whether or not you have a concussion still is by your heart rate. Okay. So essentially what they do is when you have a concussion, you'll have all the symptoms and whatever. And then a lot of times the symptoms will go away. But when you start to get active again, apparently your heart rate will trigger a concussion again. Right. So a lot of the times they'll do the test. They'll say like, okay, he's not concussed. Then they'll have you ride an exercise bike, or they'll have you do something stationary to try to see if you'll have the reoccurring status. And some guys are able to, like Tua was able to get on the stationary bike, have his heart rate go up, and was able to pass the concussion test and go back in. Huh. So it's all just based on your heart rate, which is not a very good determinant of whether or not you still have a concussion.
They expanded the last couple of weeks, Pete, too. So that's why they adjusted. Yeah, we have it
was crazy. That's not a good system.
Not to get super serious, we have a return to play protocol for obviously concussions in college athletics, and there's like a 5-day escalation of heart rate stuff to make sure your symptoms don't come back.
Do you ever get a concussion?
Yeah, I would say yes. I've had a concussion before, but not diagnosed. No.
Steve?
Oh yeah.
Talk to me about your concussions.
When'd you get it? Practice?
Pick your poison. Freshman, sophomore, junior. I think I had a concussion every year. I remember my first concussion when we were playing freshman football at Franklin. I think this infamous story of Innes not getting his block,
friendly fire,
turning around and seeing me getting crushed.
But as a good teammate, Jeff was the first one to help him up.
Yeah. Hey, you all right? Yeah.
Hey, man, great. Good job.
Threw a touchdown. Great job. Awesome.
Lookout block. The lookout block.
My God, I got a concussion in the St. John's game. I was a D tackle and I got trap blocked. I didn't even see it coming. I got ear hold. And the rest of the game, we went to Brad Boyd's house afterwards for like a party. I don't remember a single thing. Like
you were like a legit concussed.
Gone. We went to Applebee's afterwards. No idea. Did not remember.
It was a big Friday night.
Yeah.
Friday night was always Applebee's.
I like
Applebee's
came to the next morning. I was like,
yeah. Headache the headache was nasty. And I always had, I don't know about you, Pete, but it was always all in the front right here.
Yeah. Right down the middle of your forehead.
Yeah.
All right, what else?
I'm gonna boom. I'm picking myself. I'm gonna boom. I love my roster right now.
I think you're looking good.
I love your roster. You're just asking who to play.
That's my point, Steve.
I think you're going good. Kadarius Toney gets traded to the best possible situation, and we're going good. I think you're booming as well.
Hey guys, I'm gonna. Who do you think texted me, congratulating me on the Kadarius Toney?
Christian.
Good guess. Anybody else?
Yeah, I would have said Christian. Hey, answer that, then I got a question for you.
Dan Larkin.
Breen.
Go Pete.
Oh.
Am I the first one to break this news to you? Like when I drop a couple like nuggets into that chat, am I the first one that breaks these alerts to you, or do you guys get them before me?
Steve's the first one. Steve's way faster than you. Oh yeah.
You had the Toney one.
I got the Toney one early. I saw that one live.
I broke the Chase one to you.
Oh, the Chase one, I'm still unsure about that happening. That was very good snag. But I mean, between us, Kalel, you really have no excuse for being so terrible.
Oh, you did.
Here goes the Gus Bus case.
In case anybody cares, I'm going to take Kaleli as well, and he's going to be my lock. Since we skipped over my entire piece.
Sorry,
Talk about
Brian.
concussions.
Sorry.
Sorry,
take
Case.
Kaleli as my lock.
I forgot to ask.
In case anyone cares, I'll make my pick.
I forgot to ask. Sorry, Casey.
Oh, Gus Bus. Oh.
Wait, guys, I think we're way off. I see the commercial with the guy with the mustache.
He ran a 10-yard
live? Did you rewind, Mike?
No, I don't think so. I'm in a commercial.
And now Gus Bus is hurt.
Hey,
I think every one of his runs looked really good. I think he's just falling.
I think Gus has looked actually pretty good, Case. Their issue is there's so many running backs in that roster.
He's a good running back, man. He would have been a good pick not at 2 overall, but he would have been a good player last year if he stayed healthy.
Given what my team was, I thought it was a decent game. Well, nobody knew Jamar Chase was going to be that
I agree with you on that.
For what I was trying
False.
to do.
Lloyd knew.
Hey, Case, you want Marcus Valdez-Scantling?
No. Mike, you see he took him out. He went for 3 and 101 yards. You would have got the 100-yard bonus too last week.
Oh,
MVS. You didn't play him. Went for three receptions and 100 yards.
I think Mike was just playing nice. I appreciated that last week, Mike.
Last week was dumb, dude.
Hey,
team. Yeah.
Hey, screw it. I'm taking myself.
wait,
I
did you
switched
take a pick?
Wait a minute. You just announced if anyone cares.
Shrapnel, do what you want to do, dude. Don't listen to these guys.
Yeah,
Good pick.
Taking
Case,
myself.
Case, give us the recap on the picks. Make sure we all did our superlatives.
We're all sweeping.
We need help on superlatives. There's one guy who obviously didn't pick him.
Divitto.
Yep. So,
That's not
Kaleli,
true.
this week you have Divitto as a lock. Innis, Lloyd is your upset. Yourself is the boom.
Get it.
Got it?
Got it.
DeLuca, you have Divitto, Spates as the lock. Lloyd as the upset. Kaleli is the boom.
Yeah, I needed a lock.
DeVito, you went Divitto, Spates.
Spates is
Christian
so
as
Spates.
CJ is your lock, and Kaleli.
Spates was my upset as well.
Ooh,
Okay.
upset
Did you have a
and
boom?
lock?
Give a boom.
Wow.
No.
No.
Whatever.
Spates was my upset. Christian
what
was
about
my
the boom?
lock,
Ah.
and Mike is the boom.
Gotcha.
No chance I boom.
If you can work that into your actual picks, would be very helpful. Thank you.
I actually said it. You just didn't listen.
You too. You too.
I have Divitto as the boom. I have Spates as the upset. I have Christian as the lock, and I have myself as a pick.
And where are you in picks, Casey, out of the 4 of us?
I am 1 game back of Steve now.
Gotcha.
In fourth place,
So,
In 4th place.
currently.
which is equal to last.
And where are you in the standings in the league? Is that a curiosity?
Last.
Case,
Not
are you
long.
worried? Are you worried you're gonna lose $100 to Lloyd?
Not anymore.
You don't feel worried at all.
No.
Why is that?
You want
with that
to
Jason?
Jamar Chase just got hurt. I just got Justin Jefferson.
double down?
I would double down right now on that bet.
Oh my God! Next Tuesday, Lloyd, Casey.
I'm 1 game. I'm 1 game back.
Can I call him, dude? Can I call him Lloyd right now?
No.
Sure.
We're gonna build this up. It's teased for next week. I gotta go watch this game.
Tuesday night, we'll see what happens. All right, everyone. Great to be back, guys. I missed you all so greatly on Tuesday night. We'll see if I'm back Tuesday.
It's counterproductive too for me making any moves for my franchise right now because I just want to beat Lloyd this year.
No, don't tank, Case. Come on, stick with you. Guys don't have any picks. Wow.
Case, if it makes you feel better, the current projections have you blowing Lloyd away.
Whoa!
I know. I was also projected to go 13-2 or something.
Yeah, you're
Isaiah,
now projected.
This kid Likely, the backup tight end on Baltimore. Watch out for him. He's very hyped around here. People love him. They said if Andrews ever got hurt, he would be huge. And so far, big catches.
Mike, you're projected to not lose another game.
What?
You're projected to not lose another game.
I don't listen to Yahoo. I'm a piss poor manager. All right, everyone. I look forward to Pete DeLuca picking up Isaiah Likely in the next 10 minutes. And that's it. Let's go.
I don't know if you guys know this. I'm not a very good fantasy manager.
He's already been Isaiah Likely has already been on my team.
You guys know I love Hunter. All right,
Renfro.
Shrapnel,
Right?
take us out. Shrapnel, take us out.
Follow us at Entering Milford on Twitter. Pay attention to our weekly polls and our podcast posts. We'll see you next week.
Look for us on Stitcher.
Look for us on Stitcher, Pitcher, Ditcher, anything with an itcher.
Spotify, Stitcher. All right.
Mike, welcome back, man. Welcome
All right.
back.
Good to be back. See you guys Tuesday night. Good luck, everyone. Later.